want to kick things off with a little puzzle. As you can see, I'm standing on a bridge, a very old one, a bridge that crosses the Main. And right there behind me is Würzburg, a former imperial city. Any ideas where this journey might take us? Got another tip for you. It might get quite romantic. I want to explore the first stretch of Germany's most popular scenic route, the Romantic Road. After starting out in Würzburg, we'll pass through Rothenburg and Dinkelsbühl on the way to Dinkelspiel. This is where my journey starts. This sign right here in Würzburg marks the beginning of the Romantic Road. The concept for the Romantic Road was developed in 1950 to promote numerous tourist attractions along the route between Würzburg and Füssen. Time to hit the road. What's that saying? The journey is the reward. And that's especially true here on the Romantic Road. Its route meanders through 500 kilometers of scenic valleys and utterly charming villages. The feeling that time passes at a gentler pace gives you every reason in the world to make frequent stops along the way. Every town has its own unique history. But Mergentheim, for example, was once the seat of the Grand Master of the Knights of the Teutonic Order. Back on the road, we continue through the scenic Tauber Valley to one of the absolute highlights along the route. Anyone who's traveled along the Romantic Road is probably familiar with this image. The view of towers and half-timbered buildings on the Plön line, or Little Square, as you enter Rothenburg ob der Tauber. Rothenburg is almost always hustling and bustling. Not so easy to find a truly romantic spot around here.
What do you like about it? Everything. It's so pretty city, and I enjoyed this day here.
Beautiful, romantic, and history.
The peoples, the roads, everything is very fine. I like that.
It's charming with these narrow lanes and half-timbered houses.
This one is a little bizarre, but for many visitors, this is an especially romantic place. Every day is Christmas at Kathe Wohlfahrt. If the very thought of a white Christmas can make you feel merry and bright, even on a hot summer's day, this is definitely the place to go. One of Rothenburg's biggest claims to fame are these little things right here, the so-called snowballs. Now I'm gonna find out how they're made and, of course, if they really are as delicious as people say. This baker's great-grandfather brought the recipe for snowballs from rural Bavaria to Rothenburg.
That looks very good, as if you've done this before.
The dough is formed into loose balls and deep-fried for about 12 minutes at 220 degrees Celsius. But they're not ready before they've been given a snow-like dusting of powdered sugar. My next stop is Dinkelspiel. It may not be as well known as Rothenburg, but it's also old and just as beautiful. What a nice old town. It's so easy to imagine what the founders of the scenic route must have seen in cities like Dinkelspiel. This is also where the Romantic Road Working Group is based. I'm meeting up with the managing director, Jürgen Wünschenmeier. What was your aim in 1950, 5 years after the end of World War II, in creating the Romantic Road?
The aim was to promote a different image of Germany after the Second World War. Going back a little further in history, the oldest German scenic route was actually first mentioned in 1900 as German travel route number 1. But of course, after the turmoil of the war, that very nationalistic-sounding name didn't exactly serve their purpose. So the mayors of Würzburg, Rothenburg, Augsburg and Füssen, the places where we've had guests since tourism has existed, got together. Those 4 people were firmly convinced that the route between Würzburg on the River Main and Füssen on the edge of the Alps was especially picturesque. They were thinking about calling it the romantic road for couples in love. Fortunately, they chose the short form and reopened the romantic road as a themed scenic route on January 10th, 1950 in Augsburg.
Did the concept prove successful right away? I'd imagine that after the war it was hard to get people to visit Germany at all.
Not in the least. And the idea has found many imitators here and abroad. We can say with a bit of pride that it's nice that in Japan, Brazil and Vietnam there are themed vacation routes modeled on the original romantic road in Germany.
Is it really still in keeping with the times to market such a long scenic route as a single tourist destination?
I think it's more up to date than ever, and you don't have to travel the entire route in one trip. There are people who do that, but we also have many who cover it in stages and like to return. In the autumn, they go to Franconia to taste the wine, or to the Allgäu region to see the cattle driven down into the valleys. There are so many different travel themes, and I think that at a time when more and more Germans are vacationing here at home, it's important to give visitors suggestions and ideas. And I think a 500-kilometer-long tourist route as a holiday destination is an excellent way to get to know the country.
What challenges do you see facing the romantic road in the future?
The challenge will be to maintain the importance of the romantic road in an increasingly competitive Europe and make sure it remains the #1 holiday route.
Then I wish you the best of luck.
Dankeschön.
Danke sehr. The Middle Ages were often anything but romantic. There were witch hunts in Dinkelspiel just as there were in other towns and countries. Suspected witches were tortured and condemned here in the basement of the former town hall. Witch trials ended in banishment or execution. That's not good. But it's not all gloom and doom in the House of History. Here you can also find out who was responsible for the rediscovery of Dinkelspiel. Spoiler alert, it was the painters from Munich who in the 19th century found the perfect medieval motifs for their art here. I could do with a break and a little snack. These buns are a Dinkelspiel specialty. They're called Schneckennudeln, a delicious pastry with cinnamon and raisins. I've driven many kilometers and seen all kinds of beautiful sights on this first leg of the romantic road. And there's still even more to see. A lot more.
But I think on this first stretch, I've already seen quite a bit. Romance comes in many forms along the way, which is only one aspect of this route that keeps you longing for more.